Metropole Debrief is a dialogue. Everyone has a say. We'd always like for you to be a part of the conversation. So you can start talking to us now at Metropole TVKE Atundiroganga. The hashtag to use is Metropole Debrief. We want to sample some of the views that you've shared online with regards to the reopening that President Kenyatta ordered on the 6th of July this year. What were your expectations? What are your disappointments? What do you make of the reopening? Do you think it's a step in the right direction towards reviving the economy? So let's cross over to Twitter and hear what you have to say. At BM_Bashir says, Kenyans kindly adhere to the set of guidelines by MOH Kenya. 100%, because for us to improve the economy, health is the #1 priority, and unhealthy citizens can never contribute anything to our country's economy. And this goes hand in hand with what Kwame says. Until health is vibrant, nothing will happen in this country, because the economy, unfortunately, right now, the fate of the economy is tied to how fast the health of this country and the health of the continent and the globe improve. Let's take a look at another tweet at Brian Isosam says, the pros outweigh the cons, people. I'd rather take my chances with corona than starve the people of a freedom constitutionally provided. Did I get that right? I'd rather take my chances with corona than starve the people of a freedom constitutionally provided. Hashtag President Uhuru Kenyatta made the right call. It's now a civic duty. So Brian Isosam is just saying, it was time to reopen. You can't lock Kenyans forever in the COVID-19 jail, as it is called, and now it is our civic duty to ensure that we protect ourselves and we protect our loved ones. Let's take a look at another tweet here. It's Rahma Makoha says, worst decision ever. Our elderly parents in the village will be affected by the urban-rural migration that is about to happen. Just take care of yourselves, my guys. You're on your own for real, okay? And also, earlier on this week, Boniface Mwangi put out a tweet saying, you are on your own, because the Ministry of Health is overwhelmed. It's asking Kenyans to pursue the option of home-based care, and we all know how Nairobi and the country functions. Most of us live in informal settlements. For home-based care, you need a room of your own, you need PPE, you need a thermal gun, you need somebody dedicated 100% to taking care of you to ensure that you're well, the room needs to be well ventilated, and you can't be living around many people because of the risk of transmission. So Kenyans are being forced or advised to take that option. And also remember, hospitals are operating at full capacity. We also saw those tweets that were saying Aga Khan is full, the ICUs are full. So as he says, you are on your own. As much as he says it's a bad decision because it will put many people at risk, you're on your own. If you choose to go out there, it's your funeral, you make your bed, you lie on it. Let's take a look at another tweet. It's Chalo says, should have been the other way round. Movement will just spread the disease. Maintain lockdown and curfew. He got it backwards. Let's take a look at this tweet for a minute. So flip the coin. Lift the curfew, but let the lockdown extend. I don't understand the logic behind this tweet. Does it mean that we can do business for longer hours, but we can't leave Nairobi to contain the spread of the disease? Well, Chalo, you'll have to tell us more. But for him, he says we would have rather eased curfew and maintained lockdown. Let's take a look at another tweet before we cross over to the streets and hear what you had to say. At Mutungi Ryle says, this freedom might be a sweet sorrow. The increasing rates and unprepared county governments are a worrying sight. It could end up in premium tears. Time will tell whether this was a Solomon management call. Countdown 21 days. She makes a very valid point, particularly on the preparedness of counties. There are counties that have done well. Mombasa County, we have to give it to them. At least 400 isolation units. I saw yesterday on an update, they have at least 60 beds. Their counties, Tana River, Lamu, 0, no beds, no isolation beds, no ICU beds, 0 ventilators. Kirinyaga County, 1 ventilator, and we know who it will be given to should coronavirus break out in Kirinyaga County. So this is the situation that is happening in the counties. Counties are unprepared. As she said, there's no single county that has at least 100 ventilators and 100 ICUs. I think the most that has ICUs is 60 ICU beds. So a lot more work needs to be done at the counties. And remember, the CAS of Health said before the president reopened that we were not ready. However, there was a contradiction between the cabinet secretary, the principal secretary, and also the DG, Dr. Amoth, who said we are ready. So we are seeing conflict of interest, health or economy. But as somebody said earlier on, it's herd immunity and you're on your own. But this is what you had to say online. Let's cross over to the streets together with Vincent to hear what you had to say with regards to this, and then we shall come back and look at this one tweet.
The cessation of movement into and out of Mombasa, Nairobi and Mandera counties has already been lifted by the president. On this week's episode of Street Talk, we'll be looking at the impact of this decision and how people are getting ready for life after the cessation.
We appreciate the president very much for opening the inter-county lockdown. But no, you know, it's not just a switch on, switch off situation. It takes time for things to change. As it is now, we are struggling, we've been waiting, and we thank the president very much for having opened for us the country so that now people can flow freely. But so far, no much improvement we have seen, but we are hopeful. It's a very sad situation that we had to reduce people. We had to reduce our workforce because of the amount of work which is left for us to do. We are just hoping to have full capacity when the demand requires.
The inter-county movement has, however, come as a good news to some, especially in the transport sector, as people are able to move into and out of Nairobi County, which is a business hub in Kenya and in East Africa.
Saida tuliambia bwana president alisema amefungua, tuliambia watu wetu warudi kazi. Na hakuna ule tuliambia asirudi. Iko watu wanatoka huko mashinani wanakuja hapa Nairobi, wanakuja wanafanya biashara, alafu wanarudi. Kwa sababu watu wengi wale tunabebaga kutoka Nyanyuki ni watu wanakuja kununua vitu alafu wanarudi jioni.
Lazima tulinde abiria na wale abiria wenye wanaenda nyumbani lazima walinde wale wazazi wanaenda nyumbani. Numbers inazidi increase. Na rais aliongea mambo mengine akasema wewe umeruhusiwa kwenda nyumbani, lakini hakikisha umelinda mama yako, umelinda yule mtu uko nayo karibu. Ukifanya hao watu waangamie katika hii maisha, hiyo itakuwa juu yako.
Ile kitu ya maana ni kuwachunga na nishunge. Kwa hivyo nikifika lazima nijipange nisiwaambukize kama niko naye. Njoo hata kama sina na itapata kwa ngali.
For some people and for some businesses, the end of the cessation period comes as a breath of fresh air. But for others, the situation still remains the same. This marks the end of Street Talk this week.
As always, Vincent there ensuring that your thoughts on the streets are captured, documented, and given a platform here on Metropole Debrief, and we hear you, we really do. Let's take one more tweet. At Joe_Y9 says, in the next few weeks, we will start blaming #President Uhuru Kenyatta for lifting the cessation of movement too soon. Atatujibu, si nilisema jukumu ni lenyu, ashajitoa, you're on your own. What a way to end it. We'll leave it there. We can't add from this. We can't take out from this. All we have to do is wait and see if in the next 21 days, that's what the president will say. However, remember, as he said, jukumu ni lenyu. Now, before we end the show, we just have time for one more thing, and that's debrief take home. Well, President Uhuru Kenyatta reopened on the 6th of July, And he said that this is for the sake of the economy. However, we have to cooperate. He also gave an ultimatum that in the next 21 days, upon reviewing the disease patterns and trends, if things do not get better, he will not hesitate to lock down and go back to zero and ensure that there's no other kind of movement that will happen across the country, or no other solution will be explored until we are able to contain the disease. However, we want to show you the risk that you'll be subjecting yourself if you try to misuse your newfound freedom, or the way you choose to use it. We just want to show you whatever you choose to do with the newfound freedom, these are the consequences. So let's begin with low risks. If you go to a restaurant and you order for food delivery, rather you're at home and the restaurant delivers food for you, you're at 1% risk of, rather 1 out of 10 of contracting the disease. Keeping 1.5 meters social distance, the chance of contracting the disease is 1. Wearing a face mask publicly, you reduce your chances by 2. Okay, let's take a look at moderate low. Use of public transport, PSV, matatu with social distancing, we are at 3. Taxi services with social distancing, 3. Sitting in hospital waiting areas, 3. And we're not saying don't go to the hospital. If you are, please go and seek medical assistance. Just ensure that you protect yourself so that you don't deteriorate at home, and when you go to the hospital, you cannot be helped. Eating at a restaurant with social distancing, 4. Hashtag living my best life, 4. Let's take a look at moderate risk. Attending a funeral, oh, he was my friend, I really like them, I want to pay my respect, 5. Going to the market, they're called grocery runs on Instagram, 5. Visiting elderly relatives and friends in their homes, paying three times the fare just to go and infect your parents at home, 6. Going to the hair salon or barber, new hair, hoodies, 6. Let's take a look at moderate high. Use of public transport without social distancing, 7. And this unfortunately is happening in matatus, in buses. It's late, let's just sit, I'm wearing a mask, I don't have corona, 7. Traveling by plane, Mombasa, here we come, 7. Playing contact sport, football, you want to clear your head, 8. Attending house parties, hashtag it's lit, 8. Riding on a boda boda, 8. Let's take a look at the high risk. Going to a pub, bar, club, 9. Working out in the gym, dream body, 9. Attending house parties, 9. Attending large religious gatherings. And this is where it gets really tricky, because in the next 21 days, they're going to reopen churches. Why yet all of you are going to online churches and were adapting to it? I don't know, but just know your chances of contracting the disease, a solid 10. Not wearing a face mask, or rather wearing a face mask as a chin guard. You're not covering your mouth, neither are you covering your nose, a solid 10. Attending social gatherings, weddings, birthday parties without social distancing, a solid 10. This is how it looks like, folks. We have freedom. Yeah? You can do whatever it is that you want, but do not say we did not use you. Even the Bible says, my people perish because they lack information. Here is the information. You choose your poison and let it kill you. Or you can just stay at home and minimize your risk, or wear your protective gear correctly, minimize your risk, maintain civic responsibility, and save your parents from the disease. Or we can go full force and we can see the horrific sins that Italy and Spain saw when they disobeyed the order to stay at home and went for one march, and by Monday the next day, or the next week rather, the country had a full-blown case of COVID-19. My name is Ndiro Ganga. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. This is our season finale, but remember, next week we are coming here with Meet the Press edition. We would have given you a small glimpse of what it's about, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out more. And you can talk to us via social media at Ndiro Ganga, at Metropole TV KE, the hashtag Metropole Debrief, or you can send us an email, metropoletv@metropole.co.ke. I'll see you at the Meet the Press edition.